everybody, it's Naya. Welcome back to Naya Reasons Smiles. Hey guys, welcome back. Today I have a little summer book haul, though I hesitate to say summer because it quite literally just snowed 3 days ago here in Colorado, so I'm not completely buying it yet, but we're gonna say summer because I'm trying to remain positive. But anyways, yeah, I only have a few books here today. I have some book outlet books, some books I was sent in the mail. So without further ado, let us get into this. Today's video is so kindly sponsored by The Kingdom. I am so excited about this book because I love fantasy and I love sci-fi. And this book has both of them, by Jess Rothenberg. Now this book should be out by the time you guys are watching this. It comes out on May 28th. So this book is about The Kingdom, which is an immersive fantasy theme park. Now it kind of sounds like a cross between Disney World and Jurassic Park and also Westworld a little bit. Guests can come and experience really fantastical things. They have bioengineered species roaming around like dinosaurs. Now in The Kingdom there are also these android hybrid princesses, and our main character Anna is one of them. The princess's sole purpose is to make the guest's dream come true, so they kind of do whatever the guests want, which is a little bit scary. One feeling though that she isn't programmed to experience is love. But when she meets a guest named Owen, she starts to experience that, and it just changes everything for her. An incident occurs at the kingdom and Anna is blamed for it. Anyways, it sounds really interesting, and like I said before, I'm a huge fan of Westworld and Jurassic Park, and I love sci-fi. It should be out now when you're watching this, so I will include a link down below if you want to check it out. Now on to the book outlet books. This is always my favorite part of every video. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a vlogger friend with book outlet, so I have a page on their website which I'll link down below. The first book I picked up, which I am so excited for because it's by one of my favorite authors, and it's actually her debut book that got re-debuted, The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. You guys know V.E. Schwab is one of my favorite authors of all time in the entire world. This is her very first book that she wrote back in 2011. It's a fantasy, a YA fantasy book about this town called Near, where they have this myth, this like urban legend about the Near Witch, which is this woman who kind of calls to you and kills you, I think. No one really knows who the Near Witch is. We're following our main character who lives in this town called Near, and one day she sees this sort of ghost phantom boy outside of her window, and right after this event happens, children start disappearing from the town. Immediately when I read that, I thought that this sounds a lot like a sort of Pied Piper retelling. I think it's really crazy that Victoria Schwab was able to republish her first book, which I don't know if it did very well when she first published it, but she's written so many books now that she thought she might try and republish it because the first time around it didn't do as well as she would have liked. It actually made it onto the New York Times bestsellers list, which is crazy, which just gives me hope as an author. Okay, the next book I picked up is the reason why I put in an entire book outlet order, because this collector's edition of this book was originally $30, but they had it on the website for $11. Collector's edition of The Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. You guys, I can't, hold on, I gotta do a zoom on this one. It has plastic wrap on it, but I don't think I'm gonna take it off because it's a collector's edition, and I have like another edition that I can go back and reread. But just look at this bad boy. Oh my god. It's purple with gold embellishments, and it's in a case, so this all over here is like the hard case, and then it has a hardback collector's edition in here with a little bookmark. My fangirl soul is screaming right now. It blows my mind that they had it on there for $11. I don't think I would have found it anywhere else for that cheap. The very last book outlet book that I picked up was a book that I had previously owned, but I don't know what happened to it. I think it got lost when I moved here to Colorado, and I'm really bummed because I had the pink edition of this book. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This book is like the fangirl book of all fangirl books. It's incredibly popular. If you haven't read it yet, like, let me tell you now, it's 110% worth the hype. Definitely want to pick up Fangirl as well as Carry On, which is the sequel prequel sequel book to this whole series, and Wayward Son comes out what, in 2020, in January of 2020, I think. Our main character, she is a fan fiction writer for this series called Simon Snow. It's basically kind of like a knockoff of Harry Potter. This is her first year in college and her last year writing fan fiction for the Simon Snow series, because the last book is about to come out. A lot of things are ending for her, a lot of things are beginning for her. It's an incredible coming of age story and it's amazing. And Carry On, which is the fan fiction that she's writing in the book, is actually its own separate book that you can then go and read, which is fantastic. Next two books I have here are a finished copy and an advanced reader's copy of a book that I have been highly anticipating, Frankly in Love by David Yoon. This is my galley copy, and this is the most incredible galley copy. I don't know if you can tell, but they printed my name on the cover. So the title of the book is Frankly in Love, but it says Frankly in Love with Naya, and it has my name at the bottom and they spelled it correctly and everything. They also sent me a finished copy, which is in this super cool marketing package. It kind of unfolds like this, and then look how beautiful this is. David Yoon is Nicola Yoon's husband. Now, Nicola Yoon wrote two of my favorites young adult romance books, Everything Everything and The Sun Is Also a Star, which the movie is out now and I'm gonna go and watch it. I haven't seen it yet. Nicola Yoon is a black woman, a black author, and David Yoon is a Korean American author. What I love about Nicola Yoon's books is that all of them, or both of them I guess you could say, I've only read two, both have interracial couples. They're both own voice novels, and they talk about the experience of dating interracially, falling in love interracially, and just the cultural differences and the cultural struggles of having families from two different backgrounds. David Yoon's book is an own voice novel, and it follows a Korean American student who falls in love with this white girl, and his family is very strict about him only dating other Korean people. He struggles with following his heart but also pleasing his family. He has a friend who is also Korean American, and she has also fallen in love with someone outside of her race. They kind of make this pact where they pretend to date each other just to please their families when they're actually seeing other people. It sounds like it's gonna be a really beautiful coming of age YA romance story, and I'm so excited. And I just found out as well that it also got picked up for film, so it will be adapted, which is incredible. This package I have here I received from Fierce Read, and they sent me a galley of a new book called Last Bus to Everland, which is a story that follows our main character who hasn't really ever fit in anywhere, who's getting bullied by people in his neighborhood, who is struggling in school and struggling with his parents, until he meets this boy named Nico who takes him to this sort of Narnia knockoff, is how he describes it, tropical fantasy land called Everland. Until one day he finds out that the door is closing and he'll have to choose between staying in Everland or staying in the real world. I love stories that have to do with children that travel to another world, that go through a door. All of Sean McGuire's books, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. The very last package I have here I received from Source Books, so thank you so much to them. They sent me a sequel to a book that I read last year called Furyborn by Claire Legrand. I don't know if you guys remember me reading this book. This was an amazing fantasy book, and the second book, Kingsbane, just came out this month, I think, and it is huge. Like, oh my god, I thought the first book was long, but the second book is huge. I would say these are both high YA fantasy stories, but the first book follows two young queens from two different time periods, and it kind of goes back and forth between both of their storylines, and you see how they intersect later in the story and how they relate to each other. Fantastic. They also sent me like little tattoos and pins, which is really cool. That is all the books I have today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you've checked out any of these books and your thoughts below. Until next time, keep reading, and I will talk to you guys later.